Well, hello. Checking in for sound and audio. Looks like we have a couple folks on. Just doing my sound check, my vid check before we get started. And it is now officially 11 a.m. on Saturday, the 16th of January from snowy Vermont. Welcome to Yoga Intermissions. Today's Yoga Intermission, try this at home, live or recorded. We are doing a flow and focus streamlined, which means we'll be repeating a short sequence over the course of time today. But to start with, first of all, coming to you from Salt and Sand Studios, my name is Karen. Great to have you here. Really happy to practice with you. Don't forget proppage if you need it, blanket, roll of toilet paper can serve like a block, or a little Nancy cushion, or something off the bed or the couch. All of that can work for you. Thank you for the check-in on the sound and video. While I don't promote or condone having your mobile phone nearby, I got this really great quote from my partner last night. I wanted to share it with you. From a book called A Hat Full of Sky. Joy is to fun what the deep sea is to a puddle. It's a feeling that can hardly be contained. So maybe that's something that can inform your practice. I will now place my phone away and down. We are going to start kneeling if that feels okay for you today. You can always fold your mat over, place a blanket under your knees or a cushion under your knees, and making sure that we're not shifting forward or super arching the back backward. I'm going to work into a few basic movements of the spine to start with, and then we'll move into our streamlined flow and focus, the approach of repeating several postures in a row in support of finding your place in them and opening up and strengthening the body. You can place the hands on your thighs if you like. Shrug the shoulders up to the ears on a breath in. Press the shoulder blades behind you. Check in with the belly. Draw it in. Tuck the tailbone forward. Then release the shoulders in the breath. Again, shoulders shrug up. Okay, press behind you and drop breath out. One more time. Let it go. Drop your chin to the chest. Feel what that feels like on the back of the neck. A little movement left and right, like your head is a pendulum. Take your time. See how far the chin can move without over stretching yourself. Feel what that does maybe to the shoulder blades. Chin drops, chin lifts parallel to the earth. Let's go ahead and place the palms together at the heart so we can start ourselves off with an intention. And if anything just changed, like the shoulders became earrings or the chin dropped down like a dangly necklace, see if you can organize all of that. Draw the belly in, the tailbone forward, and feel the connection with the earth on the shins and the tops of the feet. Feel the connection with space from the crown of the head. Maybe close your eyes. Consider now an intention, a dedication, or perhaps what brought you to your mat, a motivation. And instead of that being something like, I will X or I won't, maybe you just conjure up a word. Breath, ocean, joy. Let's celebrate that. Let's surround ourselves with those great intentions, those good vibes. Like we could create a little foundation, a little cushion for our practice. We'll do that with an Om. You don't have to chant, but if you would like to join in, you can also just imagine an Om writing on your breath. Breathe all the air from your lungs. Take the deepest full breath in. Intertwine your fingers, press the palms onto the chest, send the elbows outward, take a breath in, draw the belly in. As while you do that, exhale and twist over to the right. or the left, doesn't really matter. If you're mirroring me, you might find I'm going to my right, not yours. Breathe in. Exhale, twist. This time as you exhale, maybe open up the right arm, or the arm that is more behind the body, at the back of the twist. Next breath out, draw forward, hands to the chest, breathe in again, get tall in the spine. Exhale, twist over to the left, or the opposite of wherever you just went. Unfurling the left arm, or the arm that is closest to the back body. Next breath out, draw forward, bring the heels of the hands to the hip creases. You can lift the fingers off the thighs so you really get that connection. As you breathe out, scoop the belly in, round the spine, drop the head, glide the heels of the hands toward the knees. As you inhale, palms flatten and they draw the thighs back toward the hip creases, a little arching in the back, a lifting of the heart. We'll take that 2 more times. Round into a kneeling cat shape. Arch into a kneeling cow shape. One last time. And if your body is anything like mine in terms of what it's feeling now, you're feeling a little pressure starting on the shins. And we're going to go ahead and take a child's pose. I will move on to my mat to join you. Knees wide, big toes touch. Torso is face down. Does your torso have a face? And start to follow the flow of the breath. Maybe coming back to that quote, thinking about joy to happiness and deep ocean to puddle. Breathing into the sacrum, the wide flat part at the bottom of your back, just above your glutes. Just giving it a little extra space to work with, ensuring that the head is resting on something. Plant the hands, come into a tabletop shape. I'm going to hang out here just for a moment without really making a lot of movement. The movement here is in working the fingers wide, pressing the floor away, tucking the tailbone, and creating real estate between your shoulders. Head is reaching forward, the nose points downward, not toward the navel, but straight toward the mat. And here you begin to feel the power of the belly as you draw it up so you can tuck the tailbone down. Walk the hands forward just a couple of inches and slowly reach the heart, unbending the knees a little bit, heart forward through the thumbs, elbows in, just a little bit of a scoot downward, little half push up, and we press back up. The toes tuck under. Lift the knees a little bit, draw the belly in, press the sitting bones toward the heels. Long neck, you might look at your knees. Big breath in, keep those thighs spinning in toward each other. Exhale, stretch the heels down, the hamstrings longer, downward facing dog. Maybe this is a place where you feel your shoulders or your triceps. Belly's working for you. Maybe pedal into your down dog. Until you find some stillness, imagining that the seat is reaching toward the upper back corner of your room. Breathe in, rise to the tippy toes, press the chest toward the thighs. Exhale, draw your knees downward, look forward, take a walk to your hands for a forward fold. Uttanasana, forward fold, standing, 2 legs, head heavy. Fingers intertwined behind the head, right above the occipital ridge, so that nice bulbous part of the head. The elbows drop downward. Belly is in contact with the thighs. It's not necessarily resting, so it's a little bit active, but we use the weight of gravity in the hands to draw the neck and the spine long. Check in if you're gripping the mat with your toes like I just was. Loosen them up. Exhale, hands to the earth. Maybe a little sway left and right, feeling the texture of the mat. And pause for stillness. Drag the fingertips up to the shins, and then as you breathe out, press the shins away, lift halfway up, a long spine. Full round of breath here, shoulders toward the hips, belly in and up. On an exhale, forward fold, release it all. Again, as you inhale, hands or fingers glide up to the shins. Exhale, lift, 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 drawing the belly really, really tight. It's a great way to think about shoveling as well, not folded over, but drawing the belly in. Exhale, release and fold. Once again, on an inhale, hands glide up. Exhale, press the floor away. Release and fold. Next breath out, we'll float up to standing, moving into mountain pose. Hands drop by the sides to Tadasana. Oh yeah, starting to reach the heart high. Gathering those hip bones straight forward. A little activation in the glutes. Keep the palms facing forward. Inhale, lift the arms high overhead. Exhale, palms face forward, arms slowly draw downward. Mountain pose, hands face forward. See if the arms can get a little heavier. This time, arms sweep outward and up. And take a hold of the left wrist with the right fingertips. Give a little tug here. Keep the rib cage right over the hips as you breathe in nice and long. Exhale to tilt over to the right. Lift the heart to the sky. Inhale, fingertips wiggle toward the sky. Release your grasp. And then change it to the other side. The next breath in, we get tall. Exhale to tilt over to the left. Again, the heart reaches toward the sky. We draw the belly in. Glutes are a little bit active. Inhale, arms lift toward the sky. Exhale, hands to your heart. Samastihi. Inhale, sweep your arms wide, then high overhead. Breathe out, soften your knees, hands to the heart, forward fold. Uttanasana. Breathe in, hands to the shins. Exhale, lift halfway up. Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hands to the shins. Exhale, press them away, half lift. Next breath out, forward fold. One more time, hands to the shins. Breathe out, half lift. Ardha Uttanasana. Get wide in the collarbones. Exhale, release and fold. Next breath out, we unravel like a beautiful green fern all the way to standing. Arms sweep high overhead. Exhale, cactus-shaped arms. And here you might think about where the hands and elbows are in space, if the elbows can get wider, if the belly's working for you. Maybe you float the toes off the mat, wiggle them around. It makes me think of the Flintstones. And then bring the toes back down. Hands one at a time, drop behind you. Maybe the heels of the hands come to the low back. Perhaps you intertwine your fingers, or as I have mine, curled like this in a way that is non-habitual. Collarbones get wide. We start to open up the shoulders and the heart. We're not shifting the hips forward. We're not bulging the low rib cage forward. We're still working the belly nice and strong. Sit into a chair pose, bound. Utkatasana. Belly strong. Lift up onto the balls of the feet. Sink down a little further. Pause here for balance. Slowly stay as deep as this and bring the heels to the earth. Belly in and up, thighs spin toward each other. Sitting bones reach down and behind the heels. We're not skiing, so we're not shifting forward. We're working a little bit of a back bend with a strong belly and a strong, long tailbone. Exhale, fold over your legs, a bound forward fold. Maybe the hands stay intertwined or hooked, and perhaps they lift from the spine. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, release the hands. Breathe in, hands to shins. Breathe out, lift halfway up. Breathe in, breathe out, hands reach down. Glide the left foot to the back of the mat, runner's lunge. Just for a moment, find this space. Energy from the belly lifts away from the thigh. Back knee drops to the earth, toes untuck. Arms sweep up overhead. Anjaneyasana, knee down lunge. Wobbliness is mitigated by moving the right foot out to the right, and we sink a little deeper into the front foot. Back bend. Glutes of the left side strong. Hamstrings are activated as well. Breathe in. Exhale, hands frame your front foot. Tuck your back toes under, return to a runner's lunge. Prepare yourself to hover over your right thigh, hands by your sides, collarbones wide. Bet you can feel this in the right hamstring. Now reach the left heel behind, lift up, crescent warrior. You can move to a warrior one if that works better for your body. Breathe in, open up the heart. Exhale, warrior two. Adjust your feet if need be. Back foot parallel to the back of the mat. Front palm flips. Reverse the warrior. Warrior two. Hands to your heart. Spin onto the ball of the back foot. Step your back foot halfway up the mat and wiggle around on the feet. Find equal balance, equilibrium. Hands to your hips. Press the right hip behind you. Exhale, fold halfway down. Nice long spine. Exhale, fold over your legs if that feels okay. I'm going to grab my blocks. My hamstrings are a little tight. Press into the front heel. Press into the outer edge of the back foot. Step the back foot up to meet the front. Sit into chair pose. If you like, the big toes can touch. They don't have to. Arms can be by your sides, hands at your heart, or a cactus shape. Inhale, float upward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hands to the shins. Exhale, lift halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Right foot sweeps way to the back of the mat. Take a really long stance. Set the whole thing up. I'm moving my left foot out to the left a little bit because I know where my balance will go. When I drop my back knee, untuck the toes, float the arms high overhead, shoulders over the hips, Anjaneyasana. Work those right glutes and hamstrings, open up the heart. Keep the belly strong. Next breath out, hands frame your front foot to return to a runner's lunge. Strong and stable in your foundation, hands float by the sides, Belly hovers over the left thigh. Collarbones wide, shoulder blades fall in love. Inhale, rise up, crescent warrior. Back heel can come down if that works better for your body. Big breath in for the back bend. Open up, warrior two. Flip your front palm, reverse your warrior. Warrior two. Hands to your heart. Spin onto the ball of the back foot. Hike the back foot halfway up the mat. And float around on your feet a little bit. It would be great if you had hover feet. You could really float around on your feet. Hands to the hips. We use the left hand to press the left hip behind, squaring the hips. Exhale, fold halfway down. If it feels okay, on a breath out, all the way into Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose. Food containers under your hands, toilet paper rolls, blocks, cushions. Let the head go. Step the back foot up to meet the front. Soften your knees, chair pose, Utkatasana. This time we'll take a twist, hands to your heart, and a twist over to the right. If you like, you can take this deeper by reaching the heart and the spine longer and forward and tucking the left elbow outside the right thigh. My left shoulder and hip prevent that from happening. And guess what? That's okay. Inhale, draw through center. Exhale, twist to the other side. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, forward fold. Bring the feet a little bit wider for yogi toe lock. The peace fingers wrap around the big toes. Big thumb it's your only thumb, comes to, well, maybe it's not, comes to the tip of the big toe. And we rise part, drawing the belly in, the spine long, shoulders toward the hips. Exhale for a fold to bend the elbows out to the sides. Maybe you find a little bit of a deeper fold here. Knees can still be bent. Exhale, hands release, breathe in. Hands to the shins, exhale, lift halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Breathe in. Exhale, forward fold. Left sides back for your runner's lunge. We pause here, finding foundation, strength and length. Back knee drops, toes untuck, Anjaneyasana, knee down lunge. Next breath out, hands frame your front foot. Toes tuck under, keep the belly strong, runner's lunge. Hands float by the sides, hover. Beautiful statue on the prow of a ship. Inhale, rise up, crescent warrior or warrior one, your choice. Breath in. Open up, warrior two, breathe out. Reverse your front palm, reverse the warrior. Return to warrior two, hands to your hips. Face the front of your mat. Come to the ball of the left foot. Step the left foot halfway up the mat. Find your equilibrium. Right hip moves back so the hips square. Exhale, halfway down. Remain here or find your full Parsvottanasana. Pressing into the ball of the front foot and the heel of the back foot. And the power of this repetitive opening process, whether you do the same postures or different postures, is that perhaps now you can get a little deeper into your Parsvottanasana. Opening up the body, opening up the breath, the heart, the mind. Joy, deep ocean. Back foot steps up to meet the front. Next exhale, half lift. Next exhale, forward fold. Runner's lunge with the right foot at the back of the mat. Take your time. Back knee drops, toes untuck, Anjaneyasana. Maybe now you feel a little bit of a greater opening in the heart and along the front of the right hip, the hip flexor. Exhale, hands frame your front foot, back toes tuck, runner's lunge. Power this up. Hands by your sides, float, hover. Reach those fingers behind you, the unicorn back there. Rise up, crescent warrior or warrior one if that works better for you. Heart opens, belly strong, glutes strong. Open up, warrior two. Reverse your warrior. Warrior two. Hands to your heart, heart faces forward, come to the ball of the back foot steps up, situate yourself, find equilibrium, balance, fold halfway down, belly in and up, sitting bones reach behind you. This might be the destination for you, or maybe you fold over your leg. Belly's still active. So if you're kind of letting it just hang out, you're not doing any favors to your low back. You're also not building the core strength, which is so important to the strength and stamina of the spine. Back foot steps up to meet the front. We move back into chair pose, Utkatasana. One more time, we'll work through that sequence. We're going to play a little bit in chair here. Hands can come to your heart or cactus if that works better for you. We're going to slowly come to the left toes. Activate the right glutes, hamstrings, and quads. Stay in your chair. Lift the left knee toward your heart. Take your time. Activate the foot. Slowly bring the left foot down. Come to the right toes. Long, slow, steady gaze, slow breath, a slow gaze. Find a slow gaze. Lift the right knee in. Slow, steady breath. Flex the foot. Bring the foot back down. Rise up, hands to your heart, Samastihi. Woo! Hands drop by your sides. Inhale, float them high. Open up your heart. Exhale, belly in, forward fold. Inhale. Exhale, half lift. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Left foot back of the mat, runner's lunge. Foundation. Shoulders toward hips, long back leg. Anjaneyasana. Knee drops. Toes tuck. Shoulders and heart float. Sink into your front hip crease. Activate left glutes, left hamstrings. Hands plant, runner's lunge. Shoulders toward hips. Strong and stable, hands by the sides, heart and belly float. Ooh, something good at the back of the mat. Reaching for that little squeezy puppy. Inhale, reach upward, crescent warrior. or warrior one. Settle in. Belly working hard. Open up warrior two. Check in with that right knee. It loves to flop toward the midline. Bring it away. Lift the front heel, sink deeper into your front hip crease, draw the heel back down. Did you feel your left glutes activate? Flip the front palm, find a reverse. Don't forget the front knee. The heart, gaze might lift up this time. Strong back leg, warrior two. One more time, we'll lift the front heel, drop into that hip crease and draw the heel down. Hands to your hips. Spin onto the back foot, the ball of the back foot. Step up halfway. Situate yourself. That was not the most graceful movement for me. But guess what? It's just yoga. It's just yoga. Am I finding benefit from the practice? Physically, in my heart, in my head, halfway down, fold. All the way down, pyramid pose. And this time, third time, my hands have reached the ground. Yours might not. But just enough opening. I'm going to take my right thumb, press it into my right hip crease, and peel open my right thigh toward the right and behind to get a little bit more stretch, a little bit more balance in the hips and the feet. And step the back foot up to meet the front. Inhale, exhale, halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold, runner's lunge, right foot back. Finding your space, finding your power. Back knee drops, Anjaneyasana. Opening the heart, activating the belly, tucking the tailbone, using the glutes to open up the right hip flexor. Hands onto the mat, runner's lunge. Hover. Reach, 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 crescent warrior. Or warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. Heart opens, shoulders rotate so pinkies face one another. Don't forget belly. Breathe in. Open up warrior two. Shoulders over the hips, left knee more to the left than to the center or the right. Come onto the ball of the front foot, lifting the heel up, drop into the knee, bring the heel back down. Again, come to the ball of the foot, lift the heel, sink into the knee, drop the heel down. Flip your front palm for a reverse warrior. Heart and gaze. Warrior two. One more time, lift the heel, front heel, sink into your knee and your hip. Draw the heel back down. Low rider. Hands to your hips or your heart. Spin onto the ball of the back foot. Hop that foot upward. Find your foundation. My left quad got a little more tired than the right. Halfway down, in. All the way down. Pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana. Fingers sneak forward a little bit, step up. One final chair pose, Utkatasana. Hands to your heart. Lift onto the balls of your feet. See if you can sink your sitting bones all the way to your heels. It's a little bit of a balance, a little bit of power, a little bit of courage. Find your way to a seat. Actually, find your way to tabletop. Sorry if you already made it to your seat. We're going to come back into our kneeling posture to make our way into a back bend. Right now, sitting on the heels for a moment and lifting up to the knees. Let the feet be as wide as your knees. See if you can stack the shoulders over the hips. Sometimes what happens here is we shift forward or we really send the hips way too forward and we start to lean back. You really want to keep the glutes sort of positively strong. Is there negatively strong? No judgment. We're going to bring the heels of the hands to the low spine. And we will go ahead and shift the hips forward. Keep your glutes active. We're going to lengthen from the top of the pelvis to the sternum. Draw the shoulder blades together like they like each other. And then imagine there's this gorgeous string of light attached to the heart. And you're lighting the stars with it so the heart lifts. Maybe take that sequence again. Shift the hips forward. Extend the front and side bodies. Keep the glutes strong. Shoulder blades, like cogs, start to interweave. And the heart lifts. Maybe you take that one more time while I get a drink of water for my dry throat. Handmade glass from Salt and Sand Studios. So here we are in our back bend, hopefully. And if you like, you can come out of the back bend, or maybe I'm going to tuck my toes under and take one hand to a heel, keeping my tailbone really pressing forward, the pelvis tilting toward the sky. Float the right arm up. I'm opening up the collarbones, the heart, the right armpit, the shoulders. Before I rise back up, I'm going to bring my right hand to my heart, then to my heel. And the left hand floats high. These are modified camel postures, which you'd think were called dromedary or something like that, but they're not. Hand to the heart, belly in, rise up, sit back onto your heels, and come to a seat. You might scoot your way halfway up on your mat so that when it comes time to come all the way down to the mat, you're situated in accordance with the map of the mat and the body. We'll go ahead and tuck the heel of the right foot underneath the left glute. The closer it is to the body, the more you'll get your twist. You're welcome to keep the left heel right in front of the right ankle or cross it to the opposite side of the right thigh. If that is the case, if you cross it over, you really want the big toe mound of the foot to be on the earth, and it might help to sneak the right heel closer to your glute. Left hand, right hand or elbow outside the left knee, left hand behind you. We get tall on the breath in, belly in and up, exhale for your twist. And as always, this is your practice. So if this twist you're in doesn't really work for you, unravel it. Find a twist that works. Maybe it's something simpler. Draw yourself forward. We're going to go ahead and swing the left leg around behind us. Keep your belly strong. Depending on whether you normally take pigeon, prone, or supine, you may make the change to supine now. You can always take fallen angel bringing the left heel toward your buttocks and taking your fold this way, or coming up onto the front shin, bringing it as parallel as you can to the earth. Left leg long, right out of the hip socket. I'm going to use a little prop under my right hip, or coming into a full pigeon. Really, actually, a half pigeon. Head rests on something. Check in with your shoulders. Find your breath. Wherever you are, we're going to meet back in a seat with the left leg long in front and the sole of the right foot inside the left thigh or calf for Janu Shirshasana. So you might need to shift some things around, square your hips, left toes toward the sky, long, long, long spine, belly a little taut, pelvic floor lifting upward, a fold over the left leg. Mainly aiming for a long spine, so don't worry about rounding the body to try and get the head to connect to the knee or the thigh or the shin. Imagine instead that the heart reaches for the shin, the belly moving in and out gives you real estate to help with that. Slowly on a breath out, lift back up. Let's bring the soles of the feet together. And create a nice big diamond inside the legs. You might stay here. You might prop yourself with something, cushions or rolls of toilet paper. Or you can tuck the wrists underneath your ankles, bring the palms of the hands to the tops of the feet. That gives you some leverage with the elbows to shift the heart forward. Draw the belly in, press the knees down and out. Your spine as if the head could come to nest in your feet. That might not be the greatest imagery for some of you, but I like that sense of it. Like my head is going to become a pearl. Pearls of wisdom. Strong belly, breath out, lifts you up. Sole of the right foot onto the earth. Left heel toward the right glute. Making your way into your twist in whatever shape you did on the other side, assuming that works on this side. I have a little bit of a harder time getting the big toe mound of my right foot to the earth. I'm going to twist over to the right. Evidence that the body is not as symmetrical as we are often led to believe. And maybe we desire it to be perfectly symmetrical, but that's not the way we're built. In fact, if you took a photo of your face and you cut it in half, top to bottom, and you replicated the right side and put it on the left, you wouldn't look anything like yourself. Isn't that cool? Bring yourself forward. I'm going to swing around the right leg. Again, finding this little sort of fallen angel posture if that's best for you. Going onto your back or shifting into pigeon on this side. Again, I need a prop underneath my glute because it doesn't come near the floor. Joy to happiness, like the deep ocean to a puddle. Depth. return back to our seats. Right leg extends this time for Janu Shirshasana on this side. Slowing it down even more. Maybe a little bend in the right knee. Belly in and out, pelvic lock, pelvic floor lifting. Reach the right side of the chest toward the right shin, long spine. Right toes toward the sky or your torso. Allowing yourself to soften into the posture. It's not a forceful requirement. There's no competition, no big prize money. It's called a practice, not a perfect. One more time, breath out, rise up. Supta Baddha Konasana to start, soles of the feet together. You might scoot your sitting bones toward your heels. In your choice, remaining upright with a nice long spine and firm belly, or peeling open the feet with the thumbs and the hands and rounding into Baddha Konasana, your bound angle pose. As you stack the shoulders over the hips, the hands come behind you to draw yourself onto your forearms, drawing the belly in and rounding the spine a little bit. Your choice, if you'd like to lift the heart one more time, finding a little back bend and opening also of the throat. Then come all the way to your back for Supta Baddha Konasana. Maybe the arms in a cactus shape, or the hands on the hip creases, or one hand on the belly and one on the heart. A position of openness, also a position of vulnerability for some. And so you pay attention to what your body is telling you and release the hip creases and the glutes a little bit. Gently bring the hands outside the thighs or knees to help guide the knees upward, soles of the feet to the earth. We lift the buttocks off the earth a little bit, place the palms on the mat underneath the low back, the sacrum. One at a time, draw the knees to the heart. Maybe even lift the chin toward the chest, drop the head, and legs toward the sky, virtual legs up the wall. Feel how heavy the legs are in the hips and let the belly soften. Maybe some little wiggles of the toes or the ankles. And movement now gently and kindly to your final resting posture, finding repose in Savasana. Arms by your sides if they can be, palms facing up. In your choice, maybe something underneath your low back, under your knees, or maybe the knees are bent, or in the fullest expression. Legs stretch long, space between the feet. You take a huge breath in. Let it go. Here, the place where the joy of the practice, the deep ocean of your experience start to meld, integrate. Physical, the asanas, human form, the heart, mind, the breath. And breath comes with ease, without effort. Everything softens, giving to the earth and receiving from space. Take another big deep breath in, reawakening the body. Release any remaining tension, let it go. Arms and legs bring movement back into themselves. Breath helps. And you shift over onto one side, curled up in a little ball. And here, a return to your intention, your motivation, or your dedication. And reconsider joy being more like the deep ocean than it is like happiness. Press yourself to a comfortable seat, Sukhasana, easy pose. And if you've just crossed your legs in a very habitual way, maybe you swap the leg cross. Spine long, chin tucked, belly in, tailbone down, knees loosened, palms to your heart like they have found their home there. The heart greets the thumb knuckles by lifting. We'll close as we began. This time we'll use the sound of Om to lay the foundation for the rest of our day and also send the merits of our practice out to all living beings. A release of air from the lungs. Complete deep breath in. Thumb knuckles move to the center forehead. May you find joy as deep and wide as the ocean. Namaste. And with a hip, hip hooray for each of you who practiced today, whether today is live from Vermont or recorded, thank you. I hope to practice with you again. Please share the information about this channel. Also, we have some paid for Zoom classes on Friday nights and starting the last Tuesday of this month, Tuesday night. Friday nights are spa and Tuesdays are vinyasa if you'd like something a little more energetic in a full 60 minutes. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and thank you. Enjoy. Thank you, Elaine. Thank you, Nancy. Hope travels were good.